Howdy, YouTube. How about some chicken apple burgers? Watch and learn. So here, I've got some shredded chicken. I think it was shake and bake or something. It's got all the skin in there. Whatever. We'll deal with it. And over here, I've just cut up an entire apple. And over here is Mandy, who is expecting something. What do you want, kid? I got nothing for you. I know, I did give you some stuff. And watch and see what happens. Well, because we here at Savage Galley are all about intuitive cooking, I'm going to use my brain powers and think to myself, I want the apple chunks to come through in the burger. Just tiny little chunks of apple. So that means I'm going to add them after I puree this. We're going to add all the spices, add the egg as the binding agent. Cooking tip, egg is nature's binding agent for culinary feats. And then afterwards, we're going to throw the apple in, mix it up, and we'll be ready to make the patties and fry them. Now, as I have learned over the years, there's several paths you can take when cooking. Flavor paths, I guess you call them. So for chicken, for example, bourbon. Bourbon, peanut butter go together beautifully. Peanut butter, curry, that kind of stuff, whatever. If you're going to do chicken, apple, you do cheese and something syrupy. So I'm going to do a maple mayonnaise, although I don't have any actual maple syrup. We're going to make a maple mayonnaise kind of topping for it, and we'll see where it goes. So I added the cheese and the egg to this mixture, and I got a little excited and threw some syrup in already, because I really want to make sure it has that sweet, just touch of sweet flavor when you're biting into it, besides the fructose of the apple. So next we're going to blend it. So now, as you can see, just to prove that this show has very little prior planning, I haven't done this before, and I tried blending it, and the shredded chicken just does not blend. But it mixed up the cheese and the egg with it. It did shred it a bit more, but not the pureeing effect I thought it would have. So we're going to roll with it, and rather than cop out and use a food processor, we are going to make this work. So the next question on my mind is what spices to add to this before I start mixing it together. Well, once again, on that flavor path we took, I looked through the spice cabinet and I said, okay, well, I can probably use a little smokehouse maple, a little bit of liquid smoke, not too much because that'll destroy it, and some ground ginger. So let's throw them in, mix it up, and move on. So now that we've got that mixture taken care of, we can move on to the maple mayonnaise, which quite literally will just be mayonnaise with some added syrup for goodness. It's easier to start with less, mix it, taste it, figure out the profile you want, and add more later than it is to add too much at first and then have to add more mayonnaise to counter. So we've got our pan going, got the heat going, and now we're just going to take the stuff and make patties. Alright, I had to add some breadcrumbs to get a little more volume here. So I'm just mixing this up, and I'm going to make it into patties, and we're going to put it in the heating pan. I had to add another egg too, because I don't know if it was going to stick together or not. We need that universal glue here. So I'll take a decent handful, kind of pattyize it. I don't know how else to say that. And then once you're satisfied, just plop it right down. dump it right down here. Tough part is going to be getting this to stick together rather than just devolve into a mess. Well, this is side 2, so it works a little better than expected. I'm going to throw a little of this maple mayonnaise on there. Okay, so it's the moment of truth. We've got test subject here. Side note, this is
very good.
leftover coleslaw mixture. I put in some the beets from the borscht episode, and not as good.
Delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I threw some vinegar and stuff in there. Didn't bother making an episode about that, but okay.
Very good.
So the assessment.
Excellent.
Thank you.